Good morning, everybody. We're going to do a public live stream today, kind of by accident, so we'll just roll with it, and I will start talking in 2 minutes. All right. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, February 8th, 9 a.m. Eastern. We're just going to do, I'm public live streaming right now just because there's something I've got to fix on the back end and I don't have time to do it at the moment. So we're just going to go through our normal Monday routine. Obviously, there's a lot of tension on Bitcoin and Tesla this morning. So we'll do our normal rundown and we'll go from there. So obviously, we have a lot of strength everywhere. Everything's going up. Stocks are going up. We've got crypto going up. Even the past couple of days, our gold and silver bulls are showing back up again. So we are in definitely bullish euphoria mode. SPY is at all-time highs pre-market, and the broader market is keeping that control. What I'm going to be watching for this week, the pattern on SPY has been a higher low every single day for the last 5 days. If 386.14, the low of Friday, holds again today, that pattern stays in control. So that's going to let us know when the next daily consolidation is happening. And if we don't see that support level break, then we don't have any daily consolidation. Looking at the futures chart overnight, we have the potential for an hourly lower high this morning. We topped out at 39.07 on the futures chart, set a higher low, and the bears, if they're going to prove anything to us, we would have to see a failure to break the overnight high and then a break of the low of that consolidation for any real pullback to take place. The dollar is trying to form a daily higher low. The daily uptrend is the most important thing we're watching on the dollar for now, because when we lose the daily uptrend, weekly consolidation begins. And the big question we have for the next month on the dollar is, can the bulls confirm a weekly trend change with a clear higher low and higher high? So this move does not top out on the weekly time frame as long as the daily uptrend is intact, and the bulls need to regain the 4-hour trend in their favor for a daily higher low to be set. Gold, so bouncing, getting some follow through. We had an inside bar on Friday, broke bullish this morning and overnight last night, and we're just looking for a daily lower high again. The bulls must prove a daily trend change. They have been unable to for the last month. Anything under 1875 is a daily lower high, and if we are going to see some follow through, we need that higher low and higher high. I'm going to have to go back and read exactly what Tesla said about their Bitcoin investment, because I think they said something along the lines of, we could potentially diversify into metals as well. So that could be a little bit of a bullish momentum grabber in the metals. I'm going to have to go back and read exactly what the details are in this filing, but that's something to keep an eye on. Silver is much stronger than gold. We've known that for a very long time. Daily higher low is set, and now we're scouting a daily lower high, anything under 30.14. So lots of space for that daily lower high to form. Miners, gap up open, shaping up. Plenty of space. Anything above the low of Friday is an hourly higher low. I'm watching GDXJ a bit closer because of its exposure to silver. And anything under 54.32 is just a lower high on the daily time frame, and we would stay in a tightening daily range if we fail to break that level. I would love for an equilibrium to form on these miners for the next couple weeks. Oil bulls keeping their control. Higher low every single day. It's the same pattern as SPY. And we are looking up at 57.68 as the current high. The 4-hour uptrend. Looks like I need to fix this live stream. One moment. So we got the 4-hour uptrend as our guide for the oil bulls. Anything above, there's a little level at 56.55, but a nice 4-hour EMA 12 guide as our uptrend. Natural gas, key monthly resistance test, 310. The bears are doing everything they can to defend 310 resistance, and we have a daily uptrend to be watching. If 310 breaks, it is a monthly trend change for the first time in a long time. We'll have monthly, weekly, and daily uptrends at that point. Anything above 2736 is a daily higher low, and the bulls need a break of 310 to get that follow through. Bitcoin. So here's the bull break, a daily bull flag, new all-time highs. Obviously the hype with Elon Musk and momentum. And this was something we were watching for. Certainly just a guess and a gut feeling that either Elon Musk or Tesla was going to put out information about position sizes. And obviously we're getting that today. So this news is going to be getting attention for a couple days at least, obviously. And it's going to have focus on Bitcoin for that. We have the west coast of the US at 6 a.m. right now. So they're not even aware of this news yet. And we're going to see dips be bought. We have the 5-minute looking at a short-term support of 43,000. And we're looking for a 15-minute higher low to form. We're just playing the zoom out game. If we lose the 15-minute uptrend, we look for an hourly higher low. We certainly know back burner trades are back on the menu. When we have first 5-minute oversold conditions from here, there's going to be some significant dip buying, and bulls will probably front run it. So if we're waiting on first 5-minute oversold conditions, bulls are probably going to start buying at 35. We're obviously not anywhere close to that happening, but we know that that's a high probability trade the next time it happens, whether it's tonight or in 48 hours, who knows, but that is a trade. That's why it's called the back burner trade. We can just keep an eye on it because eventually it will be a high probability trade that comes to us. So me personally, I exited 15% of my position in the 44,000 range, and that's just a rule. If we see a massive breakout, take some profit into that breakout. I'm letting the majority of my position ride a bit longer, and I'll be using either the hourly or the 4-hour uptrend as my guide on that longer term position. But again, when you feel euphoria, for me, I lock in profit. So just 15%, but very nice to see this follow through. As far as potential targets, I have absolutely no idea. We're just going to be watching psychological levels and our uptrends as guides. And obviously this increases the possibility that Bitcoin can hit 100,000 at some point in the future because we know other companies are going to be following the richest man in the world who is behind one of the most electric companies in the world, pun intended, and other companies are going to follow suit. So that's going to be a nice steady drip of bullish headlines in my opinion, which can keep this hype and bullish momentum going. That being said, we obviously don't want to chase and FOMO in, so just use your technical analysis as always. We have clear levels to be going off of. We had a support level established at 41,500. That's a key level in the short term if the bulls are going to keep their control. Could this be a 5-minute head and shoulders pattern forming right now? Absolutely. The bulls have used up their initial bull move up. All the shorts that were going to get squeezed initially have gotten squeezed. And now the question is how much sustained buying is going to continue coming in as these headlines make their way around the world over the next 12 hours. And with that, we know that we have stocks that we can be watching. We've got MARA and Riot. They're going to see bullish moves. Obviously, GBTC. So we have to be keeping a close eye on things. So I'm probably not going to be doing a lot of trading today as far as stocks because I am very distracted and in euphoria mode, and it's a great start to the week. So I have no desire for day trading right now. So let's get into requested tickers. Things that I am going to be watching, even though I'm not going to be trading them. ZM. So ZM had the bull break on Friday, significant bull volume, finally changing the weekly trend. And we're now looking at 427.76 as a resistance level. We're going to be opening right at the high of Friday first thing. And if the bulls can break 427.76, they will certainly have a lot of strength and follow through and momentum in their favor. I am going to keep an eye on GME. It was a multiple week maker on Friday on that bounce. Anything under 95 is just an hourly lower high this morning. And what I would like to see, especially considering I don't feel like trading right now, would be an equilibrium. Fail to break 95, set a lower high. Then we look for an hourly higher low compared to 57.26, the low of Friday consolidation. And I just want to see that hourly equilibrium tighten up into tomorrow. So watching for the potential of a daily inside bar. Okay. NIO. So NIO, we're looking at short-term hourly resistance of 57.13. The weekly time frame is trying to keep this consolidation extremely healthy. And it still is at this point, as long as the low holds. So right now, the most important level for us is 54.37, and it's a simple statement. If 54.37 holds, it is a weekly bull flag. So what the bulls need to do is hold that level and break 59.20 to change the daily trend and set a weekly higher low. So that is what the bulls need to pull off here. We're going to be watching correlations. Obviously, Tesla is up a bit with this Bitcoin news. And Tesla is looking back to all-time highs, and obviously we're not seeing NIO react in the same way. So not as a significant correlation reaction as I would expect, but let's see once that bell rings. What does the real dollar volume do once the bell rings, both with Tesla, which is going to be quickly heading towards its all-time high at 900 in my opinion, and NIO to see if it follows by shaping up this weekly higher low. FIZZ. Daily time frame, a lot of weakness recently. The bulls are hoping that we're slowly winding down in terms of bear strength. We've got a low of 108.26. And if the bulls can hold 108.26 and break 116.17, they will start to shift that momentum. It is a falling wedge on the hourly time frame over the last 4 or 5 days. So it is worth watching for that momentum shift to the bulls. And then from there, we would just zoom out and scout a daily lower high, but keeping an eye on the pattern of a lower high. Well, I guess it's only been a few days of a lower high every day, but bulls definitely want to break that high of Friday if we're going to have any confidence that the bounce is underway. And 129.89 would then become the most important resistance level on the daily time frame if the bulls do get that bounce going. APTS. Come on, trading view. So APTS 799, we'll just call it 8, is the most important daily resistance level. Solid bounce the last few days. We've got the hourly uptrend as our clear guide. Anything above 764 keeps the hourly uptrend intact, so that's the most important support first thing this morning. And if the bulls can break the high of Friday, 774, then they keep this move going. It'll be either a break of $8 for a bull break or a loss of the hourly uptrend for a daily lower high being set to form a tightening daily range. So the hourly uptrend is our key short-term guide. CVE, daily inside bar on Friday. Looks like earnings are after hours today. Double check that. We have a higher open shaping up, so it's looking like the inside bar is going to potentially break bullish. And then we're looking up at 655 as resistance after that. So again, this is another name that just has a pattern of a higher low every single day now for 7 days in a row. And if that pattern stays intact, then the bulls keep their complete short-term control. So there's a lot of individual names because SPY and oil have a pattern of a higher low every single day, 5 days in a row. There's many individual names that have that same pattern. So keep it simple. That is our short-term guide on a day-to-day basis. If we just keep putting in a higher low every single day, we know the bulls are keeping their complete short-term control. So 624 is the level for that to remain the case on CVE. ACTC, looking for a daily higher low compared to 22.48. We know we need an hourly trend change back to the bulls for the daily higher low to be set. Gap up open is shaping up, but it is coming without changing the hourly trend. So wherever we open, the bulls will then have to, on the next time we see hourly consolidation, we got to hold that 24.34 level where there's a lot of space to form a higher low comparative to it. And then we need the confirmed hourly trend change. So a nice tightening daily range. It is looking like our daily higher low is going to be set at 24.34, and now it is all about 27.88 to see if we continue remaining in our tightening range or if the bulls are able to continue following through. Clearly the daily EMA 12 is a great guide over the last 2 weeks. That is worth watching as well. PLTR. So PLTR started its daily bounce on Friday, shifting momentum towards the bulls. Big gap up open this morning, following through. Anything above 33.29 is an hourly higher low. So bulls have plenty of space there. And we are scouting a daily lower high compared to 45. If the bulls are going to have a chance at V-shape breaking 45, we will have to see very notable bull volume to make our way back up to those levels. So on this gap up open, if we see profit taking, we will look for that hourly higher low. And it would be a loss of the hourly uptrend that would indicate our daily lower high has been set compared to 45, and we would watch for that tightening range. When you have this wide a range, we know the equilibrium is the most likely scenario, but volume can help tell us if the less likely scenario is going to end up taking place or not. GPRO. So GoPro with a dump on Friday and a weak close. That low of Friday is going to be in play this morning. We've got 836 and 820 as two support levels. And I would consider anything under the high of Friday as just an hourly lower high. So 958 key resistance. And this morning, it's pretty much just a bottom fishing play off the low of Friday. But bulls have not proven anything to us over the past couple of days. And this is the kind of daily candle from Friday where the bulls are just hoping for a daily inside bar to put a stop to the downside momentum. There is definitely more downside potential. It's all about 820 this morning. Bulls need a big enough bounce to try and set up an hourly trend change. And to do that, they would need to make their way back towards $9 this morning. CURA, testing all-time high or close to it. 2118 is at all-time high inside bar on Friday. If the inside bar breaks bullish over 2061, it's just 2078 and 2118 resistances. Again, another name with just the pattern of a higher low every single day, tracking SPY. And 1994 is the level for the bulls to maintain that pattern. If 1994 were to break, the daily equilibrium would be shaping up. All about the pattern of a higher low every single day. So Tesla, gap up open coming with this bullish Bitcoin reaction. 873, so we are looking at 880.50. And then the all-time high as our only two resistance levels. Hourly uptrend is our guide. Anything above 848 is an hourly higher low. So the question is, can the bulls just maintain this hourly uptrend until we see a new all-time high? They certainly have momentum in their favor. I'm very curious. There are going to be some long-term investors in Tesla, hedge funds and the like, that are not going to like this move. It's just a question of, will the euphoria from people that like this move outweigh those that are not pumped about their exposure in Tesla now giving themselves exposure in Bitcoin. And I've already seen tweets out there in Twitter over the past couple weeks where there were some people not pleased about that, but I think those are the minority. So we will be watching all-time highs in Tesla. RKT. So RKT, if we're going to shift momentum on the daily, we have to break 2240. And that is the most important resistance level. You could call that a daily trend change if we do get that little higher low and higher high. And then from there, we would zoom out and scout a weekly lower high, potentially compared to 25.55. I actually take that back. I don't like the weekly perspective on this setup right now. So 2093 was the low. We bounced and hit the high, and now the bulls are attempting the higher low at 2125. Have to break 2240 resistance. LI, longer term time frames. So LI on the monthly is just multiple monthly inside bars, 4 months in a row. The weekly time frame is a really nice equilibrium. We're looking for a weekly higher low, anything above 2652. To set that daily or that weekly high or low, we know we need a daily trend change. Right now, it's just a week daily chart with little bear flags. So the bulls would need to hold 29.53 and break 31.40 to try and start shifting momentum for that weekly high or low to be set. If we break 29.53, we know the bears are still in complete short-term control, and it remains all about 26.52 support. So if looking to make an entry, it's essentially just looking to scale in and play off of 26.52 for that weekly high or low. CWRK. So CWRK 122 key resistance on the daily time frame. Upper wick of profit taking from Friday. So anything above the low of Friday is an hourly high or low. It was low volume profit taking, which is a good thing for the bulls. Best case for the bulls would be hold 95 and break 105 first thing to keep this hourly uptrend going. And then it is all about 122 from there to try and confirm a weekly bull flag if 122 can break. So best case for the bulls, set that hourly high or low first thing and make their way back to the high of Friday. SAVA, big dump the last 2 days after a big pump. So the bulls need to hold the low of Friday first thing. That is the only support level we've got nearby, 44.25. We're certainly well above it this morning, but anything under 64.83 is just an hourly lower high. So 64.83 and 44.25 are the most important levels. The daily EMA 12 is going to be coming into play this week. It is worth scouting for this daily high or low to try and form, but just be well aware that this is extremely high risk, high reward, and volatile. So trading with smaller position sizes to account for that is probably a good idea. Another setup where the bulls are just hoping to hold that low of Friday after that week close. BLNK. Tightening daily range here. Bulls do have to be cautious of the potential of this head and shoulders. If we were to drop down and break support of 43.80 from here, we would confirm a daily downtrend. Gap up open. Nope, not a gap up, but we're going to be testing that high of Friday first thing, 54.97. The further the bulls create space above that low of 43.80, the more likely it is to hold. Still watching 64.50 as the most important resistance. But bulls trying to make their way closer to that level to negate this head and shoulders. Riot. So Riot with a gap up open in response to the Bitcoin news. And again, these names we can be watching for back burner trades as well. We can be watching Riot for first 5 minute oversold while we scout an hourly high or low, anything above 22.93. So we're looking at 29.28 as the most important level as the bulls are lagging behind Bitcoin. Bitcoin obviously already broke this weekly bull flag bullish. So bulls on Riot need to get over 29.28 to follow suit. And the hourly uptrend will be our guide. Plenty of space for an hourly high or low next time we consolidate. CURI. Big time bull move the last 2 days. Hourly uptrend our guide on the gap up open. Anything above 17.40 is an hourly high or low, so bulls have a ton of space to work with. And it's all about 20.72 resistance to start this week. So can we keep the hourly uptrend intact and break 20.72 for weekly continuation? Or do we lose the hourly uptrend before breaking 20.72 and tighten up a bit further on the daily? HOG. So HOG daily bounce getting underway on Friday. Short-term support, not a clear hourly high or low, but 33.64 is a short-term support level to be watching. If we fail the high of Friday, 34.82, and break 33.64 support, that's definitely a red flag for the inability of follow-through. We haven't confirmed an hourly trend change here. We pretty much just held 31.20, and then the bulls took off. So best case for the bulls, confirm an hourly trend change, and see further daily bounce. And after 34.82, 35.80 is then the most important resistance level. And we are continuing to trade within that one earnings day range. And that could continue to be the case for the next few days. ACB earnings Thursday after hours. CGC has earnings tomorrow pre-market. If you are swing trading a Canadian MJ name, your position will react to CGC earnings tomorrow pre-market. Just be well aware of that. ACB itself is healthy on the daily. We're looking for a higher low compared to 1080. The hourly downtrend is our guide. If the bulls can break 1321, which is going to be tested first thing, if we break 1321 and 1333, the daily higher low is set, and we're looking right back up to the high of 1415. So no red flags on that daily consolidation, and we'll see if bulls run a bit, keeping in mind ACB will react to CGC. OPEN. Nice daily equilibrium over the past couple of weeks here. We're looking for a higher low compared to 2453. Higher open is shaping up. So that puts the high of yesterday in play, 2710. Looks like we're above that level. High of Friday, I should say. So we'll call that our daily higher low. And now it's all about 2991. So a high, low, lower high, higher low. 2631, most important support. And 2991, most important resistance. Bulls are trying to set an hourly higher low this morning, and we need a 5-minute trend change back to the bulls for that hourly higher low to be set. MARA also reacting to Bitcoin, similar to Riot. 2837 has to break here for weekly continuation. Gap up open. Again, anything above 2190 is an hourly higher low. Bulls have tons of space for that hourly uptrend to remain intact. And it's all about 2837 and whether or not we get that weekly continuation. We already broke that level in pre-market, so a bit closer than Riot to confirm that weekly continuation. TSNP. TSNP hourly support from Friday is 116. We're going to test high of Friday, 169 first thing it looks like. After 169, the next resistance level is far away. I would call that blue sky breakout. I'm sure you can find previous price levels. Obviously not very relevant, being almost 15 years ago. 225 and 245 are two levels that we're going to watch from here. But the hourly uptrend will remain our short-term guide, with anything above 116 keeping that hourly uptrend intact. XOM. So XOM, gap up open. Obviously oil helping these bulls. 5108, most important daily resistance. We are at that level right now. So just straight into weekly continuation and doing the exact same thing that SPY did with some weakness 2 weeks ago. All bulls this past week and starting this week bullish as well. So after 5108, the weekly continues its uptrend. 5536 is then the most important resistance level. Looks like earnings are approaching. Nope, we already had earnings. And hourly uptrend is our short-term guide. When we lose the pattern of a higher low every day, we look for a daily higher low with plenty of space for it to form. SNOW, trying for a little daily bull flag. If the inside bar breaks bullish over 307, which it's trying to do, then we're looking at 310.88 and 318.88. And if we break 318.88, we can call it a confirmed daily trend change because this move is coming off the low. That will change the daily trend. That will increase the odds that our monthly higher low has been set. And that is what the goal for the bulls is to start this week. Again, it reminds me of ZM, just a little bit of a different shape, but fairly similar. GMIA. We'll check back in on Bitcoin here right before the bell. So GMIA started its daily consolidation on Friday and closed fairly weak. A little bit of a higher open. Bulls want to hold 60.56 this morning, and short-term resistance is 64.06. So bulls looking at a daily higher low, anything above 54.25, and they need to regain the hourly uptrend in their favor for that daily higher low to be set. A little bit of a rising wedge shape here that you just want to continue to be aware of. We're in a market environment where a lot of rising wedges are breaking bullish, but just something to keep an eye on. And I'm not doing a great job of drawing it here, trying to be fast, but you get the idea. Did SAVA GOLD. So GOLD, anything under 2308 is a daily lower high. So that is a key resistance level. Hourly support is 2221 for the bulls to keep that hourly uptrend going. And if we fail, pretty much no matter what happens with that daily resistance, the bulls must confirm a daily trend change. We have not seen a clear daily higher low and higher high since we topped out to start January. So 5 weeks of daily downtrend. Wherever this bounce tops out, we have to then hold the low of 2148 and confirm the daily trend change for us to be counting that as a notable shift in momentum. Otherwise, the daily downtrend continues. So follow through, definitely needed. Bulls got to prove it. BB, inside bar bull break on Friday. A lot of the Reddit stocks seeing some relief on Friday. We got a gap up open here. Short-term support is 1375, although anything over 1290 is an hourly higher low. And the next resistance level in this range is 1554. Keeping in mind, we know the most likely scenario is for a daily lower high to form, anything under 2877, and the hourly uptrend is our guide as to when that daily lower high has been set. Thank you, Lori. So Lori is confirming that Tesla in their filing did say that gold is a potential diversification reserve asset. So that is a bullish note on gold. Obviously, Bitcoin stealing the show, but better than nothing. SQ 246.49 all-time high is in play. We're going to test that right out of the gate. If we reject anything above the low of Friday, 235.27 is just an hourly higher low. So we don't have to break it on the first attempt. Obviously, it would be better for the bulls if we did. And we got tons of space for the daily higher low to form next time we top out this weekly time frame. Lost the higher lows, but it was just a monthly, no, not even enough for monthly consolidation. Just a complete recovery for the SQ bulls. Certainly some help from the S&P 500, but all about 246.49 first thing. RTP. RTP daily inside bar on Friday. So 14, make that 1320 is resistance. Looks like there was a lot of wild action over the past couple of days. So I would just be viewing this as an hourly equilibrium with extended hours. So support is 1348 and resistance is 1469 and 1474. So gap up open into all-time highs. First 5-minute oversold conditions on watch as a back burner trade. So here's the open. I'm watching GME and $95 resistance. Anything under that is just a lower high. ZM already over the high of Friday. We'll see if the bulls get any follow through. Tesla's not seeing a ton of strength on this Bitcoin news. Let's see if the bulls continue to buy through the morning. We got the high of pre-market as a short-term resistance level. Keeping in mind that 880 is a clear daily level on Tesla. MJ sector, both Canadian and US, in the green. Penn is seeing a lot of profit taking right out of the gate, coming off the all-time highs. Let's see if Penn's going to give us first 5-minute oversold conditions, and it just did. So quick dip. Penn bulls looking for an hourly higher low. Anything above the low of Friday, which is in play. Potential bottom fishing play off of that level. It's the only red name on my screen initially. Now Apple is going red as well. So first things out of the gate, I'm watching our 3 major sectors, and they are all roughly at the same point, up 0.4%. So now I'm going to watch them over the next 20 minutes and see where does the shifting take place? Who gets stronger? Who gets weaker? Apple and Facebook in the red, ZM now in the red. So some names seeing less strength than others. Tesla's certainly going to have volatility today. And initially, it is the healthcare sector showing us a little bit of strength, and the financial and tech sector showing us strength. Healthcare is showing us weakness. SLV. So now we're watching SLV for a daily lower high. The hourly uptrend is our guide. So for SLV, anything above, I would call it 2490 is an hourly higher low. But anything under 2798 is a daily lower high. We're anticipating a daily tightening range is the most likely scenario over the next week or two once that daily lower high has been set. Let's get one more check in here on Bitcoin as things settle in a little bit. So Bitcoin's just a tightening 15-minute range. We got our high of the breakout. Our low of the pullback is 43,000. Lower high is what we're watching for, potentially already set at 44.2. And now we're looking for a higher low compared to 43. So tightening 15-minute range. And again, what we're going to find out over the next couple hours, does the laggard buying from those that missed the initial move, does that offset profit taking and shorts jumping in? NET. NET 87.15, key resistance being tested first thing. We broke it by 9 pennies. That's not convincing. Bulls want a bit more follow through. After that, it's 88.77 on the daily time frame. So a tightening range is breaking bullish, and the weekly chart is attempting continuation, testing key resistance first thing. If we reject from these resistance levels, anything above 84.60 is an hourly higher low, keeping the bulls in full control. Twitter with a small gap up open, breaking the recent high of 56.11. We actually broke that on Friday. Looks like earnings are potentially today. Double check that date. Nope, not today. Tomorrow. And we've got a higher low on Twitter every single day, pretty much for weeks and weeks. That is the pattern that we care about, and anything above 55.03 keeps that pattern intact. This is quite a run-up into earnings. And next resistance level, not nearby. We are looking at 58.95 as the next level. I would expect some profit taking heading into earnings after such a significant 3-week move. So just be aware of that. Tesla bulls still up near their high of the day. SPY bulls are just fine. It is the financial sector, slightly stronger than everybody else. You can see the majority of the red on my screen is tech. Amazon, Netflix, Facebook, Apple, red. Wondering if Penn and DKNG are seeing profit taking now that the Super Bowl is out of the way, potentially a little sell the news event. They were overextended to the upside anyway. New high on Tesla, 880.50, next resistance level. Penn's still working on that 5-minute oversold bounce attempt. Fairly weak at this point. We would pretty much need a new high of the day over 127.10 for that bounce to get notable follow through. So I'll keep an eye on Bitcoin at one corner of my eye as this 15-minute range tightens. Keeping an eye on APHA high of Friday, and actually did just break 1720. Now the high of last week, 1750, is in play for APHA. Keeping in mind that APHA will react to CGC as well, but probably a bit less. Any name that has already reported earnings reacts less than names that have yet to report. ZM with a notable pullback this morning, first thing. 5-minute RSI is oversold. Some profit taking after the monster Friday that the bulls enjoyed. If Tesla sees a new low of the day under 866 without breaking 880, it'll be a bit of a short-term red flag of a shift in momentum, just leading to further hourly consolidation. Healthcare continues as the weakest sector on my screen. Financial slightly stronger. There goes Penn. Looks like we got that new high of the day. So there's your first 5-minute oversold back burner coming off the all-time high. And a very quick 4% bounce off the low of the day. Bulls would have to confirm a 5-minute trend change to completely regain control. And we are looking at resistance of 129, the all-time high from Friday. Still some short-term weakness on the dollar. So if I want to be a really aggressive Bitcoin bull, I'm making an entry off of 43,000 support right now. Otherwise, I'm patiently waiting for hourly consolidation to look for first 5-minute oversold conditions. As a Bitcoin entry, again, I believe a lot of people will front run first 5-minute there. So it wouldn't surprise me if we dip down to 35 RSI and then start a bounce next time that happens. SPY watching the low of the day. If we break the low of the day on SPY, we zoom out, and I would consider anything above 387.18 as an hourly high or low. Again, I still got my hedge bearish SPY position, and I have no intention of closing it in the short term. And that's just to be protective. With all my other holdings, gold, silver, long-term SPY, Bitcoin, ZM. Bull break on APHA with significant follow-through, getting over 1750. Much stronger than CGC. Certainly a common theme there. TLRY doing the same, increasing 5-minute bull volume. The second 5-minute candle of the day always stands out when that happens. TLRY has not broken the high of the last couple of days, 2735, 2740. That's a very clear resistance. So APHA, the fact that we have no nearby resistance makes it stand out as a bit stronger. 18 psychological resistance from here. A little bit of weakness now in the tech sector with QQQ dropping towards the low of the day, hitting a fresh low. No bear follow through. Just keeping an eye on all our sectors. We would have to see XLF break its low of the day as well if we were going to be looking for any notable SPY consolidation. If XLF stays up near the high and other sectors pull back, we know it remains healthy consolidation. Bitcoin key resistance is now 44,200. And I'm going to be rounding on levels just because they're going to be different depending on the exchange. Tesla's 2-minute time frame is a real nice equilibrium to start the morning. Double bottom at 868. Lower high resistance is 874.82. Could probably even use the 1-minute time frame. Nah, I like the 2. Low, high, higher, low, lower, high. Pretty much a base down at 868. It's a nice little 2-minute equilibrium to be watching. APHA not slowing down, blowing through 18. CGC following along, but much, much weaker overall. Doesn't mean it's weak, it just means comparatively it's weaker. Canadian MJ continues to steal the show from US MJ over the past week or two. APHA is now 10% from the all-time high. IWM is all bulls. Second gap up. Actually, that's a third. Third gap up open in a row, technically speaking, but IWM is up at the high of the day. So there are no red flags. Hourly uptrend will be our guide. Watching the APHA pattern of a higher low every 2-minute candle. When that breaks, we zoom out and look for a 5-minute higher low. PENN continued downside, so that bounce was certainly short-lived. Testing the low of the day again. And it does feel like a sell the news event. Bulls in complete control leading up into the Super Bowl and now selling off a little bit. I don't even know what sporting events are going to be in the near term from here. Low is low of Friday, 121.55 being tested. If it breaks, there's a gap to fill at 118.89. So Tesla with a new low of the day. That 2-minute equilibrium broke bearish. So now we're zooming out and looking at anything above 856 as an hourly higher low. But notable to not see a ton of bull follow through at the open. Failed to break daily 880 resistance. So it looks like Tesla's not really seeing as much bull hype as you would think. If I were to look at Tesla right now and not know the news, I wouldn't think there was any news. SPY bulls keeping their complete control with XLF at the high of the day leading the way for the bulls. So that's the consistent theme for the first 16 minutes this morning. XLF lead sector bull and healthcare XLV the weakest. Google is clearly the strongest tech name on my screen. Google is hitting the all-time high today, while its peers are red. So ZM is now looking for an hourly high or low, anything above 387. GM is very weak. Nothing out of the bulls on GM this morning. And at this point, the bulls are just hoping to hold that low of Friday and form an inside bar. $15-minute equilibrium continues to tighten for Bitcoin. We just held support by $123. Nice little bottom fish play there for aggressive bulls. If ZM were to drop close to 400 on this move down with both the 5 and 15-minute RSIs oversold, I would be interested in looking for a day trade flip, but I would want to see another % drop at least. Keeping an eye on Tesla, 5-minute oversold conditions if we get them. Have not yet. Thanks for the info, Bizzle. Bizzle's telling us that there was a lot of botched Super Bowl action with Penn, large outages in the online books. So that'll certainly add to a sell the news kind of event. So now we're looking at the S&P 500 overnight futures high, and that is being tested at the moment. We are just breaking it. APHA is not topping out yet. 2-minute high or low every single candle. Actually, I guess we broke that by, no, we double bottomed at 1790. So that's the short-term pattern. High or low every single 2-minute candle all day. Here's a look at the Bitcoin 15-minute equilibrium. Coming up towards resistance of 44.2K. If we reject from it, this could tighten up for another 30 plus minutes. If it breaks bearish, we zoom out and scout an hourly high or low. And we watch for first 5-minute oversold conditions. And if it breaks bullish, we obviously test the all-time high, 44.9. Obviously, the Bitcoin dominance chart has seen a significant move up this morning, and that was one of the scenarios where the dominance chart would gain strength is news from Musk or Tesla. But honestly, it's not as significant a move up as I would have expected, which tells me that the altcoins are holding on pretty darn well. If ZM were to see a new low of the day under 406, I would start to get interested in looking to play a 15-minute oversold bounce. SLV bull still strong at the high of the day. And Tesla still weak. Again, there will be some people out there that are unwinding very large Tesla positions because they do not want Bitcoin exposure. And we should see Tesla hit first 5-minute oversold before hourly support of 848. Google now rolling over a little bit, so it stood out as a lead tech bull initially, but with the new low of the day, it's now approaching the weakness of peers as QQQ fades back towards its low of the day. APHA 2-minute EMA 12 support is 1788. Now that we've lost the higher low every 2-minute candle pattern, bulls are watching for that level for a potential 2-minute higher low to try and form. PENN hit a new low of the day with 0 bear follow through, which means we'll start to scout a potential falling wedge. So question is asking about an Amazon swing entry. So the daily higher low on Amazon is 32.77. That is the must hold support level for the bulls to keep their short-term control. Right now, we're forming a daily inside bar as long as the low of Friday 33.02 holds. If we were to drop down and break 32.77, we confirm a daily downtrend. So that would be notable. So any entries, in my opinion, that want a stop level nearby, that 32.77 level is the key one to be watching. And we are in 5-minute oversold conditions. Someone who wants a tighter stop is playing off the low of Friday, 33.02. And hoping for a daily inside bar. UAL, massive bull move. Looks like the airliners are on fire this morning. Very nice. Tons of space for a 5-minute higher low. Obviously the bull volume is notable. We're at half of Friday's total volume here in the first 30 minutes of trading. 44.20 is resistance. And then we're looking at 44.41 as a little gap to fill. But a pretty notable start to the week for the airliners. Comparing UAL to Jets, the ETF, Jets is stronger. Jets is approaching weekly resistance. So UAL is one of the weaker airliners, it appears, but certainly bullish today. FANG. Bull break over the high of Friday after a weak close on Friday. So a complete turnaround to regain short-term control. Next resistance level, 67.71. And then all the way up to 71.65. Plenty of space for a daily higher low when this momentum is lost. But a strong start to the week. IWM is at all-time highs and in beast mode. So if you're looking to short it, again, I will never short a blue sky name unless there is a very clear resistance level right nearby, so my risk is very small. And right now, IWM has a ton of space for a 5-minute higher low to form once we top out on this current morning push. APHA, 2-minute higher low set at 18.01. Testing the high of the day again. NVDA with a big bull move to start the week. Breaking that 560 level was key. We've been very volatilely range bound. And we are now opening up on this bull break to a lack of resistance. After 560, it's 587.66. So a very nice start to the week for the NVDA bulls. They are also over half of Friday's total volume in the first half hour. Checking in on the energy sector. It's having a real bullish day as well. So it is possible to see some of our laggard sectors. When XLF is our lead bull, that's when the laggard sectors perform their best. Whether it's the airliners, energy sector, IWM performs better when it's the financial sector leading the way as opposed to the tech sector. As of right now, to start this morning, it's just continuation of the complete bullish control of last week. It is notable that QQQ is this green with Apple and Amazon that red. Apple and Amazon are almost down 1%, and QQQ is up 0.5%. QQQ's top holdings are Apple, Microsoft, and then Amazon. Let's see how Microsoft is doing. It's in the green. Tesla, then Google. Still surprising. DM. 5-minute higher low set at 33.05, testing the high of the day. If we reject from 34, we'll have a 5-minute equilibrium to be watching. The daily chart had a gap up open, and the bulls have held those gains on the gap up. And we are in blue sky breakout, so bulls keeping their complete control. It's just a question of can we keep the 5-minute higher lows intact through the morning for that to remain the case. APHA double topped at the high of the day to the penny. Now it's all about 18 support. If 18 breaks, it's a double top, and then we look for more significant 5-minute consolidation. Decent bounce on ZM off the low of the day. Again, the bulls will have to change the 5-minute trend for an hourly higher low to be set. But the bulls are creating space for a 5-minute higher low to try and form once we do top out. So with XLF having complete control in the morning, we can say that the broader market is not going to see any notable weakness today unless XLF breaks its low of the day. That would obviously be a notable shift if that were to take place. If it doesn't take place, then the bulls keep cruising. Facebook is one of the best tech bounces, just the fact that it got back to green. Apple's trying to make its way back as well. Change the 5-minute trend bullish. Amazon is the weakest bounce out of the major tech names at the moment. Let's see if Amazon acts as a laggard. Very notable difference in Amazon versus peers on this bounce attempt. QQQ still at the high of the day and all-time highs. APHA has a nice tightening 2-minute range. Should see a break within the next 5 to 8 minutes. So Penn's testing the low of the day. Again, I talked about that 2-minute falling wedge. Well, I didn't say 2-minute, but the falling wedge. And if we break a new low of the day here and see no follow through, or if we double bottom, it is worth continuing to watch. Here's what I'm watching. Keeping in mind that that low of Friday is in play at 121.55. One pattern that we've continuously seen is that when Canadian MJ has strong bullish days, we generally see US MJ slow and steady keep bullish control for the morning and eventually catch up. Well, not fully catch up, but slowly catch up. So we'll see if that remains the pattern we see today as MSOS is testing the high of the day. APHA testing $18 support. Aggressive bulls are bottom fishing that level. And there's a bear break. So we zoom out. 5-minute consolidation, a bit more notable. And we now have a 2-minute downtrend to be watching as well. Double top at the high of the day and loss of the 2-minute higher lows. There is opportunity in both directions, even though overall the Canadian MJ space has been very bullish. The pullbacks that we do see, even though they aren't significant in terms of changing trends, I mean, we see 5 to 10% pullbacks keeping hourly uptrends with these names that have been running this hard. And with that double top rejection, that's now a 2.5% pullback in 20 minutes on APHA. So there are definitely opportunities in both directions with that much volatility. TSIA. Daily higher low is now set at 1625 inside bar bull break. And the next resistance is now 1780. So that's the most important support level from here. Maintain 1625. And you could call it a cup and handle like pattern on the daily. Obviously not a lot of price history here. We would need to see notable increasing bull volume if we were going to look to break 1824 and 1970. And we certainly don't have that volume at the moment. So that's going to have to show up later this week if that bull flag is going to follow through. Penn just held the low of the day. Bulls need to break 124.67 to break the 5-minute lower highs. For LAZR, one thing that I want to see that we have not seen, give me a strong close. It's been 2 weeks since we've closed strong. We've either closed at the open or we've closed closer to the low of the day. So the closes do matter in terms of momentum and bull confidence in swinging overnight. So that's just something to keep an eye on. Bitcoin testing resistance, 44,200 is in play, trying to break the 15-minute equilibrium. If we reject, we will continue to tighten. Tesla bulls did make a significant recovery. We didn't get to 5-minute oversold conditions, but a notable bounce. If we reject from the high of the day, 878, we'll then watch for a 5-minute equilibrium, and we'll look for a 5-minute higher low compared to 861.70. So now we got XLF fading towards the low of the day. Watching for a higher low. And I'm watching what QQQ is doing at that same point in time. Are we inverse or not? And I can see that QQQ has been bullish 15 of the last 20 minutes, while XLF has been bearish 20 of the last 20 minutes. So QQQ is offsetting some of that XLF weakness. Bitcoin rejected. Could see again another 30, 45 minutes of tightening up potentially. And how this 15-minute equilibrium breaks on Bitcoin is going to answer the question for me, does the late buying from those waking up and finding out the news, does that offset and outweigh profit taking and shorts jumping into an overextended move? If we break bearish, the answer is no. And we scout the hourly high or low. It would definitely be surprising to me if this bull move only remains an hour long. We went up for an hour on this news, that's it. And yeah, it was a big move, absolutely. But to not see follow through would definitely be a bit surprising. ZM topped out on its bounce at 415.50. We now need to hold the low of the day, break 415.50 to confirm a 5-minute trend change and confirm an hourly higher low compared to the low of Friday has been set. ETH recent high of 1764 is in play, but failing to break it initially. Daily uptrend certainly still remains strong on ETH. And the cryptocurrency total market cap hitting an all-time high. Again, it's showing us an influx of money into Bitcoin more so than money out of altcoins into Bitcoin, is what we're seeing on this initial reaction. So GME continues to see complete bear control as we fade back towards the low of Friday, or at least our hourly support, 57.26, about to be tested. After that, it's just the low at 51.09. And again, the bears have complete control. The bulls have proven nothing to us aside from a 30-minute little short squeeze first thing Friday morning. Pen is still just grinding near its low. IWM trying for a little 5-minute bull flag, but getting a little bit toppy in the 225s. New short-term support is 225.01. ZOM, nice bull break, testing the high of pre-market now. Held the low of the day with a 5-minute higher low and broke the high of the day. 245 is the high of pre-market. Next resistance level from there is not nearby. 240 was key. So after that, we're looking up towards 298. There's not a lot of resistance. Actually, 280 is a level from here. We've gapped up twice in a row. So if we were to gap up open again tomorrow, it would lead to a bit of caution in the short term. Testing 245 as we speak. Let's see if Tesla's giving us that 5-minute equilibrium. Lower high set. We now scout the 5-minute higher low compared to 861.70. Snow with a bull move the first 5 minutes and then gave it all back because that rejection from 318.88. We failed to break it by less than $1 and it has been nothing but profit taking since then. As soon as you double top and hit a new low of the day, definitely a red flag short term. So now we're looking back to daily support. 299 is a must hold level. Swing and a miss for the bulls. First thing, have to regain the 5-minute trend in their favor to set an hourly higher low compared to 299.64 from Friday. Amazon is remaining a lead tech bear. Netflix V-shaped recovery, testing the high of the day. If we reject, there's plenty of space for a 5-minute higher low, anything above 546. Possible to be a little cup and handle type pattern if we bull flag from here, if we're unable to break the high of the day. And that high of the day is right under the high of Friday, 554.44. So we are testing the high of today and the high of Friday at the same time. And if it breaks, 559.48 is the next resistance level. DKNG week, again, it is feeling to me like a sell the news event on the Super Bowl. Hourly uptrend lost significantly. Hourly RSI almost getting oversold. And on the daily time frame, daily consolidation clearly underway. Tons of space for that higher low. On this current bounce attempt, we're just looking for a 5-minute lower high. If the bears keep their control, we'll watch for first hourly oversold conditions when scouting for a daily higher low. And again, like all names, bulls would have to change the 5-minute trend back in their favor for a shift in momentum. As Penn continues to just grind right above low of Friday. Bulls proving nothing, just trying to play defense at this point. APHA, I now like the 15-minute time frame for clarity. We're scouting a 15-minute higher low. HOL short-term support is 2133. Daily chart continuing to break out and an all-time highs. Facebook certainly got the volatility in both directions. Massive pullback after a new high of the day. Technically, anything above 267.21 is a 5-minute higher low. But the size of the pullback is significant enough that next bounce, we're just going to be looking for a 5-minute lower high compared to the high of the day. QQQ is quickly heading back towards its low. as XLF remains strong near its high. And you can see obviously the correlation between QQQ and Facebook, these last 3 candles. ZM failing to change the 5-minute trend for now, still trying to set that higher low. Struggling to do so. FTCH, definitely a big dump. Certainly looks news related with that volume. Anything above 57.15 is a daily high or low there. And I don't see anything standing out as news at the moment. Social media has no idea what the news is. So SPY being dragged down by QQQ testing the low of the day, 332.30. So again, as we're watching this pullback, if XLF does not break from being a strong lead bull near the high of the day, we know that even with this QQQ weakness, even if QQQ breaks the low of the day, we'll be watching for SPY to potentially just give us an hourly high or low. It's pretty much an automatic requirement, baseline requirement. If SPY is going to see bear follow through, we have to see weakness all in unison on these sectors. PENN trying to hold that low. All about 5-minute resistance, 124.67. Let's look at that falling wedge again. So that is how I had it drawn. Probably would have adjusted. If I were watching it tick for tick, I would have adjusted for that rejection to remain still within the pattern. But either way, we are breaking bullish from the 2-minute falling wedge, and now it's up to the bulls to change the 5-minute trend. All about 124.67. Tesla 5-minute equilibrium continues to tighten. Again, we're scouting that 5-minute higher low compared to 861.70. And if we continue to tighten here, we know we'll likely see a break, probably 11 to 11.15. And that's one way that I can prioritize in my brain. If I'm day trading actively today and I'm looking at different names and I'm saying, okay, Bitcoin's in a 15-minute equilibrium and Tesla's in a 5-minute equilibrium, the only reason I'm roughly estimating time frames on when breaks are most likely is so I know where to focus. You know, I don't want to just watch Bitcoin for the next hour if it's going to continue tightening for the next hour. I can try and anticipate which tightening ranges are going to break first, which would dictate where my attention would go. PTON. Just a 5-minute lower high and new low of the day. So the bears keeping their complete short-term control. Daily time frame is now testing the low of Friday, 142.70. And if 142.70 were to break, the next level is 142.37. Significant bounce on Friday, giving it all back with no hourly trend change. And I would be more inclined to bottom fish the low of Friday if we were not bear flagging on the 2-minute time frame on our way down. Again, I like that waterfall drop for the bears to be overextended into support. It doesn't mean we can't bounce off low of Friday support. It just means it's not my ideal setup. Because every time you bounce like this, you are just cooling off RSI and allowing for another leg down. All about 142.70. QQQ held the low of the day. We'll just be looking for a 5-minute lower high on this bounce attempt, but a very clear base of support now. So Netflix is a potential 5-minute cup and handle. QQQ would need to see a notable bounce with follow through from that low of the day. But if Netflix can give us a 5-minute higher low very quickly here, it certainly fits the psychology of a cup and handle. If QQQ breaks the low of the day, that becomes a lot less likely. So I'm going to wrap up the morning live cam. We're watching Bitcoin 15-minute equilibrium, Tesla 5-minute equilibrium scouting a higher low. ZM is attempting a 5-minute trend change, but failing to do so, heading towards its low of the day again. PENN, no bull follow through. Still weak. Five-minute lower highs remain a guide on PENN as we are now breaking the low of Friday. And if Amazon's not going to bounce when QQQ has strength, what's it going to take? Amazon's low of Friday, 33.02 in play. If I were playing off of 33.02 support, I would certainly be using the psychological level of 3,300. And we'll see if that double bottom on QQQ can hold. If not, we continue to watch XLF. Does XLF stay near the highs, or does it start to see some weakness as well? Hourly uptrend on SPY will remain our guide in the short term, with anything above 387.18 as an hourly high or low. Hope you have a good rest of your morning. I'll be back in 15 minutes to continue coverage in the chat room.